It is known that the people of Tigray and Gondar have a long history of the same identity, have also shared a common history, culture, and faith in defending the values and sovereignty of Ethiopia. However, the Tigrayan People's Liberation Front, a rebel far-left group, from its inception, had a plan to systematically upend this relationship with the Amhara people and went on a campaign to eradicate and weaken the Amhara people and sever its relationship with the people. After 1992, the guerrillas forcibly annexed Wolkait, Tegede, and Telemt without legal action and without public dialogue. The importance of this study is as follows. There have been a number of complaints and grievances following the TPLF's annexation of the areas of Wolkait, Tegede, and Telemt since 1992. Human rights abuses have widely occurred, and numerous witnesses and evidence seems to show crimes against humanity. Thousands of residents have been displaced, massacred, and kidnapped to undisclosed locations. Identified linguistics and human rights abuses have also endured as well. The local community has taken the issue to the Federation Council and beyond. Wolkait, Tegede, and Telemt claim that they are in fact Gondare, and of Gondar origin, and not Tigrayan, and for decades have expressed that they have been dealt in the most inhumane way and have been living in subjugation and suppression. The TPLF, on the 6th day of the Ethiopian government's crackdown on November 9, 2020, committed a horrific massacre which took place in the town of Massacre and its surrounding areas. Through verified reports and evidence, more than 1,500 people were massacred. The aforementioned incidents and crimes done in Wolkait, Tegede, and Telemt are enough for the University of Gondar to start a comprehensive research. The main objective of this study is to scientifically investigate the social, human, and other atrocities that took place in Wolkait, Tegede, and Telemt communities during the TPLF regime. The study covered a number of methodologies, including 912 households, as well as access to police, courts, health, education, finance, land administration, religious institutions, secret prisons, mass graves, and caves. Data was collected using key informant interviews, focus group discussions, documentary evidence, field observations, visual evidence, and GPS locations. Many crimes were institutionalized and structured, so the study team used the snowball technique to find out clues. It is a study that took more than a year to compile, but there are some issues which have not been summarized yet, and the current findings of mass graves has been comprehensively looked at and needs to be reported urgent press conference today. Since then, studies have shown that there was a complex conflict between the Amharas of Wolkait, Tegede, and Telemt against the invading TPLF cadres. In addition, more than enough information has been obtained to ensure the TPLF went to great lengths to institutionalize and structurally change the identity of the local community and inhabitants. For example, there are numerous people who had changed their Amharic names to Tigrinya in many institutions and places. It's been widely observed that speaking Amharic, writing letters in Amharic, and naming institutions and organizations in Amharic led to imprisonment and even executions. With that being said, though, in Tigrayan cities such as Mekelle, the capital, Shire, and Adwa, listening to Amharic music, reading and writing in Amharic are rights that were observed and normalized, but in the annexed areas of Amhara, namely Wolkait, Tegede, and Telemt, it was a high crime to do something of that sort. Studies show that the TPLF did not settle in Wolkait, Tegede, and Telemt, but instead invaded it and started an occupation. This is obvious because the semi-automatic wielding TPLF rebels and founding members of the organization later became investors and took over large tracts of land by displacing, killing, and eliminating at all costs the existing community. As a result, the existing population had been uprooted and dispersed in neighboring villages in the Amhara region, in different states in Ethiopia, and around the world. And the team here has gathered evidence of many such cases. It's clear from the team's findings that thousands who did not have the opportunity to flee were arrested and killed in broad daylight. The study identified more than a dozen major massacres in Wolkait Telemt and Telemt, including the most recent one in Massacre. Some of these can be seen in the findings, and the team would like to call upon experts of relevant institutions to discharge their responsibilities through forensic examinations and other scientific evidence to make these atrocities known to the public. The main reason for the press release, even though the full report of this study is ongoing, is the fact that it is necessary to make a public and urgent statement of the serious criminal, moral, and humanitarian issue that are seen in the gruesome crimes that was committed. Although the full confirmation and full extent of the findings will be seen at the end of the study, it is possible to draw a summary from the current facts. The team has direct evidence of secret locations of mass graves, the time of the massacre or the massacres, testimony of the family and the surrounding community, who was in control of the area during the aforementioned time, eyewitnesses who witnessed mass shootings and burials, evidence and witness accounts of members who worked with the TPLF, the well-known manifesto and the overall aims of the aforementioned organization, public massacres, killings, kidnappings, and human rights abuses committed before the TPLF left the central government, speeches and remarks by top TPLF leaders in public and secret meetings on Wolkait Tegede and Telemt, and recent massacres in Massacre, as well as in Chenna, Kobo, Afar, and other places, are of great evidence. Moving forward, there needs to be a concerted effort by all parties to bring the perpetrators to justice. Many families and loved ones who have lost their relatives to these heinous genocidal crimes, and the study team would like to bring forth some urgent tasks to shed light on what happened. The study team urges the following: going to the actual scenes of these gruesome crimes, government, judiciary officials, forensic investigators, archaeological investigations, and Human Rights Commission must do a proper investigation. Finding closure for those who have been affected, resolving the long-standing issues, prosecuting the perpetrators, educating the next generation, and ensuring that people who commit such crimes of this sort in the future will be held accountable. To ensure that such findings are not a one-off phenomenon, the study team is requesting that the University of Gondar open a genocide center and ensure that the remains of the victims of the Holocaust-like tragedy are properly collected and placed in a museum as a lesson for future generations. And finally, urge the media to understand the gravity and severity of these crimes and take the responsibility to make these findings accessible to all concerned and all media outlets so that the lives of those affected are not lost in vain, but so that justice can